Hi everyone, good afternoon, and I'm glad to meet you all in this data engineering summit. Let's quickly get started into the session. I'm Arun, as she mentioned, I'm part of the leadership team in Azure Big Data Engineering practice. He's Sachin Naran. He's the director of Data Warehousing Center of Excellence at Tiger Analytics. Okay. So in this session, we are going to talk about data and analytics journey of a customer who is in a leading automotive and distributive industries. So basically, this customer is a multi-brand distributor and retailer, and their market presence is in Asia Pacific region, and Europe, Africa, and South America. Basically, they focus on small and emerging markets. And their business value chain starts from the factory gate of the manufacturers and also goes all the way up to the end consumers, like basically running a lot of retail stores and then doing after sales service and all that. So basically their idea is to use this data and analytics as their core strategy to improve the distribution excellence and also the retailing excellence. Okay. And Tiger Analytics is engaged with this client right from the start of their the data analytics journey, where we understood thoroughly about their current landscape and what is their pain point and what is their future state wish list, what they want to achieve in the future state. And we aligned and defined their target state architecture. Okay. And we provided a roadmap, how do we transition from their current state to the target state. And in addition to it, we also provided a list of advanced analytics use cases which can be implemented on top of this foundation layer. Right? And those use cases were prioritized based on several factors, based on availability of the data, quality of data, and feasibility of implementing those advanced analytics solutions, and also critically, like what is the business impact it would make. So that's how the initial discovery and assessment sessions and then architecture and all those things were defined. And this is a high-level solution architecture that we implemented for this particular customer. So there are a lot of components here. Let me start from the left to right. So this client uses a lot of core applications using SAP. Their sales, operations, finance, the general ledger accounts, and all those details resides in SAP systems. And then there are cloud data sources like Google Analytics, Google Ads, Facebook Ads, and all those things are cloud sources. Their CRM, the customer relationship management applications, lives in Salesforce Cloud. And we use Data Factory as one of the primary way to ingest data. And in addition to it, we use it for scheduling and orchestrations and all that. And Databricks, we do use it for certain cloud-based data sources for directly ingesting that into the data lake. And the medallion architecture, right? It is used for organizing our data in the data lake. So we have bronze, silver, all these zones resides in the data lake layer, and we have gold residing in the Azure Synapse layer. And we use Databricks heavily for a lot of transformations, for both batch and real-time transformations. And for data science modeling and scoring, we use Databricks as well. So there are a few other additional softwares or components that we use, right? Active Directory for authentication, security, authorizations, key vaults for security, and then data governance, we use Purview, and then for data quality, we used DBT, data quality modules, and then DevOps solutions and all that, right? So overall, this is a high-level tech solution that we have designed, implemented for this customer. On top of this, various analytics use cases ranging from simple descriptive analytics to advanced analytics we implemented on top of it. So in this session, we're going to discuss about two analytics use cases that we implemented here. So the first thing is about the lead scoring, right? I hope you all listened to various topics about marketing analytics in earlier session. So customer lead scoring is one of the methodology used by marketing and sales team, basically to determine who is most likely going to buy a product. Okay. So here our requirements is like basically all our incoming leads, the prospective customers get consolidated via the CRM application. In this case, it's a Salesforce application. And from there, we wanted to read this data in a near real-time manner, right? We wanted to do a data-driven approach so that we can understand and calculate something called a lead score, which would say like, hey, these customers are hot customers, probability of buying is quick and all that, right? So basically classify hot, warm and cold customers. And we wanted to generate this lead score that is a predictive insight and also send that back as a feedback to the CRM application, so that the customer service executive can look at the score and then take the next steps, right? So that's the kind of requirement, and overall the expectation of this entire thing that's going to happen is within 30 seconds this feedback score needs to go. And why should we need to do this is basically, obviously, right, to improve the conversion ratio of the prospective customers, and also we wanted to efficiently use the limited capacity of the customer care executive time, right? So for both this purpose, we wanted to do it. And at a high level, how did we achieve it, right? First, technically in the CRM application, which is going to act as a source, we enabled the CDC logs. Basically, it's a change data capture logs. Whenever there is a change in, for example, entities like accounts or opportunities or leads, basically in Salesforce it handles all the data in terms of objects. So whenever there is any change in those objects, those create events, update events need to flow through. And then for this customer, we had an enterprise automation software called MuleSoft, which acted as a bridge or a messaging bus, right? Basically, it talks to the CRM applications and then gets all these CDC data and directly writes it into the data lake storage, whatever that you want. And then we have designed a hybrid solution, basically having two data flows. One, a data flow is assisting things using Spark structured streaming, and then there is one more data flow which uses this storage event-based processing. So we will look at these details in the next thing. So as I mentioned, right, the CRM application being the source. Say for example, when a new customer comes in, or when a customer tries to download a brochure to look at one of the car brands that he wants to do it, or if a customer clicks on one of the marketing emails that we send out, right? So all those events would get flowed through the enterprise automation software, as I mentioned, and those events would be like a create events, update events, and all such things, and then it gets landed into the data lake storage directly, and we have designed a Spark streaming data flow, right? So just turned on the technologies that we have used. So we have used Databricks Spark structured streaming to read these CDC events data in a micro batching mode, and then we transform it and we store all the data into the Delta Lake file format. Okay, and subsequently we have data science feature creations, and then scoring, all that thing needs to happen, right? So overall, what happens is, like, due to the complexity of transformations, what we do, due to the complexity of various features that we wanted to collect, right? The overall execution time, it's almost 5 minutes, which is way far from the 30 seconds of expectations. So the solution, the way how it has evolved is like, in this very first data flow, we stopped with the feature creation itself. And then we introduced another layer where we store all these features, whatever that gets created from the Spark streaming pipeline, into a data store, which provides us a guaranteed millisecond level quick lookups. So we already had a Cosmos DB as part of their technical ecosystem. We repurposed that particular thing, which acted like a feature store for us. So all the pre-calculated features about the incoming prospects, right, it gets stored into the Cosmos DB as a layer. And then if you see the data lake storage, we used the event-driven mechanism. Whenever there is a new file, there is a new customer coming in, or changes to the existing customer comes as an event file. So we used event-driven processing, simply using Azure functions, which will react whenever things are coming in. And then if it's a new customer, the new customer record, the JSON itself will have all the necessary data elements which talks about the customer. Whereas for existing customer, it will have only the changed attributes. That's the property of a CDC log. So for existing customer, we do a quick lookup onto the Cosmos DB and get the pre-calculated features about him. and then augment that information with the newly arrived attribute changes, and then score that particular lead. For new customer, it happens directly. And overall, once we have the lead score predictive insights available, we write that back into the CRM application via the use of. So overall, using this decoupled approach, we were able to achieve an average latency of around less than 10 seconds. Okay, so that's how we have designed this solution. So some of the key learnings I would like to point out is, the first thing is about why hybrid solution. So as I mentioned, due to the complexity of your requirements, it may not be possible to achieve everything in the Spark structured streaming. You may need to spend some time. Say for example, in this case, like we had a lot of requirements to use windowing functions to reconstitute the entire record about a particular lead, because the CDC will change, say only 15 attributes got changed in the last 5 minutes, but I wanted to reconstitute the entire record using windowing classes, ranking laws, all such data engineering related things needs to happen, and also the data science and all that needs to happen, right? So that's why we decoupled this solution using Azure Cosmos DB to store pre-calculated features, and also we introduced Azure functions to react for the new events and then score it directly. Okay, so a few other things, efficiently scanning and identifying new files, right? We use the Databricks autoloader feature. Basically, it provides a cloud file source, right? So we have file notifications. Autoloader directly provides the event grid and queuing mechanism behind the scenes, and it ensures the exactly one semantics to specifically say in the streaming world, right? So that's what autoloader provided. So we made use of that. We did not reinvent any wheel on that. And the next thing is about the performance improvements, right? We used Databricks Z ordering, basically for every entity that we get, right? Say it can be new customer related details, account details. We ordered all those entities using its primary key and its timestamp, so that whenever we are merging details, right, it works really fast in the Spark structured streaming world. And then when we have multiple streaming queries, right, by default, all of them would land into the fast scheduling. Basically, it uses FIFO, first in, first out basis. We would unnecessarily we would face delays. So we also turned on something called scheduler pools, so that for every streaming queries, it will run in its own scheduler pools. It will have its own share of resources, so that it can run concurrently. So, and one of the another dependencies that we had on the source side CRM application is like it can accept only a maximum concurrency level of just 3. Okay, so because the CRM application is shared across various other things in the enterprise. So the way how we controlled the synchronous call when we are writing the predictive insights back to CRM is we made use of the traditional semaphores. So semaphores is basically, in simple terms, it's nothing but a counter or a variable that you would maintain. And let's say if you want 3 synchronous calls to happen, you set the counter to 3, and whenever you are making a call, acquire a value from the counter, and then once you are done, you release it. Basically, it's a way of controlling the concurrency. If you wanted to do it in PySpark or Spark world, we can make use of that, so that we work within the limitations or boundaries of our systems to which we are interacting with. Okay, so with this, I am completing the lead scoring related things, and the next use case, Sachin will explain what is the importance of semantic layer and how we have used it for various descriptive analytics. Over to you, Sachin.
Thanks. Thanks, Arun. So Arun has explained like how the lead scoring solution or the enhanced lead scoring solution which we have developed can help the customers get a second's response time, right, within 10 seconds. This is a very good feature for the customer which we have implemented. That was definitely required, right? But take a second, think about it, like having only a lead scoring solution will give the business the right insights they are looking for to derive the insights out of the data, or let's say to become a data-driven company. Maybe they need something else, few additional things and a few additional KPIs to be called exact data-driven companies per se, right? So what we can do to have a complete data-driven company for the customer, and what we have done. So if you move forward, we have developed a semantic layer for the customer. Now, why is the need for this semantic layer? Right? We say single source of truth. We know currently the data comes from multiple heterogeneous sources. Multiple divisions, subdivisions within the organization have their own copies of data. You know, when the report gets published, you have a reconciliation issues, you have data issues to sort on, and the story goes on. So we need to establish a single source of truth for the customer, which will act as a golden source for all the data needs which the customer has. Right? Unified business view. Definitely every business requires a unified business view nowadays. You need to have data which is coming from different departments, maybe a sales, marketing, finance, customer. It needs to be integrated to get a unified view out of the customers, right? You need to understand what the whole story looks like. You have to connect the dots. Otherwise, you will not be able to make the decisions. Data complexity. As we move to the different heterogeneous data sources, the complexity like different formats of data, different frequencies of data which needs to be ingested, different volumes of data. Definitely that needs to be taken care, and the semantic layer is required for that purpose as well. Actionable insights, right? That's what we are talking about. Data is not enough. It should be actionable insights. The company should be able to take actions, derive insights out of the data which we are giving to them. Ease of data availability. Everyone wants the data on their fingertips. It's competitive world right now, right? You need to have data on your fingertips, readily available to make decisions quickly, because you have to capture the market. It's competition, right? Data security. Of course, when the data volume increase, data security has to be taken care. Who have access to data, who should not have access to those data, to what level they can have access to data, to what frequency, or let's say somebody can have the real-time data access, some can have access to the historical data, let's say with a lag of 1 month or so. That needs to be taken care. And the last is data abstraction. Right? The abstraction layer also needs to be built. So thus, to take care of all these things and ensure the business has proper semantic layer built in, they have the proper data insights, we have built a semantic layer for the customer and enabled few KPIs. So to take a decision, we have enabled multiple KPIs for the customer, but for the sake of discussion, let's view few of the critical KPIs which customer needed, and we have enabled them to become a data-driven company. So let's look at the key business insights here. Yeah, see, the complete 360-degree view of data, right? We were talking about. They should be able to relate. Let's talk about customer, right? You should be able to know what are the interests of your customer, what things they are browsing, what is the paying frequency, what is the buying frequency, what kind of things that interest you, and the data is coming from multiple channels. You need to build that complete 360-degree view, right? We are talking about leads, right? Lead scoring. So lead classification needs to be done. You get a lot of leads nowadays. If the sales team start concentrating on all the leads, definitely you will miss the business, right? You need to understand what are your key prospects. You need to identify your leads into warm, cold, hot classification, and you need to focus on those things to get exact business value which you want to do it. Trend analysis and forecasting. This is important. You need to have the trends enabled. You need to see month-on-month data, year-on-year data from 1 month to the next month, how the marketing is doing, how the sales team is doing, how the finance are coming on, how my leads are getting materialized. That data needs to be enabled for the customer, which semantic layer does that. Lead nurture journey, right? For each lead, you need to nurture the lead. It's like a relationship. If I say it's like any other relationship, the more you put into it, the more you get out of it, right? The lead nurture journey, when you talk about a normal nurture funnel, it has different layers from, let's say, awareness, interest, desire, action, qualification, and then different categorization as well. So you need to understand which are your key prospects. You need to nurture your prospects and follow the lead nurture journey for that one. Channel comparison. The data comes from multiple channels, right? You need to compare which channels you're getting more leads, from which channel you're getting the leads which are getting materialized, so that you can concentrate and focus on those particular channels. That data needs to be enabled. Market comparison. You need to compare between different markets. As the customer is across geographies, right? And one thing doesn't fit all. The campaign, the marketing trend in one region, one market, one country will not be applicable for other. You need to understand the marketing comparison. You need to do that. You need to understand for a particular market what is the best fit for that market and prioritize or plan your strategies accordingly. Customer satisfaction score. Again, very important, right? It cannot be a one-way journey. You keep investing in the customer and end of the day say, yeah, you're not getting the sales, you're not seeing the customer turn around. You need to see the customer satisfaction score. And you need to compare it, analyze it, and say your things are going wrong, right? Marketing strategy. Again, the marketing strategy will be derived out of all these insights. You need to take care of that, whether it is the trend analysis, whether it's a channel comparison, some marketing comparison. That helps you to derive the marketing strategy which you need to derive for a particular region, particular country, or particular product as well. If you have multiple products for the organization. Customer acquisition cost. We all know the market conditions right now, right? Cost is an important factor. So you need to have you need to understand the acquisition cost. How much time you are investing, how much time your marketing team is investing, the finance team is investing, the sales team is investing, what is the conversion rate, right? That's the customer acquisition cost. You need to have a clear understanding of the acquisition cost to run the business. And lastly, the quoted to close customer ratio. What's that? We talked about leads, we talked about lead nurture journey, we talked about lead classification. How many leads out of those actual leads get materialized? You need to understand that. If the ratio is not good, something is going wrong somewhere. Right? To get those all insights, bring all data, heterogeneous data, enable these insights for the customer, you need a semantic layer, and these are the few KPIs which we are talking about, which we have enabled for the customers, which has helped the customer to get the real insights out of that, right? Like any other projects, every project has challenges and there are solutions around it. So what were the challenges for building a semantic layer, or to build a semantic layer, what were the challenges and what are the key problems that we solved, right? First, as we talked about, there was non-availability of right KPI in metrics, which needs to be enabled for the business. Business should have a self-service feature and digital functionality. When we talk about, right, you should have every business unit, they should not request for the data or information or report from the IT team or some other team. They should have the data at their fingertips. They should be able to do self-service and able to build around whatever they want to do, from high level to any region, from a country to any region, or any district, whichever they want, based on their marketing strategy which they have, right? Integrate heterogeneous data sources. We know, as we have seen in the architecture diagram as well, right? What are the different sources? Bringing data from all the heterogeneous sources into one layer, consolidating it, the data coming at different frequency is a challenge and needs to be taken care of. Reports for performance and accuracy, right? Nobody, at current scenario, nobody will click on the report and wait for a few minutes for the report to come on. It should come on immediately as soon as you want the data, right? So that's one. And definitely, accuracy. Showing data to a customer is equally important, but quality data is definitely very, very important, right? It's not that you're showing some figures to the customer which are wrong. The actionable insight which will derive out of it will be wrong insights. So, performance of the reports with quality is important. Time to market and quick insights. As we said, it's a competitive world, so time to market will be definitely important for the customer. And scalability and maintenance. We all know systems evolve. So data sources evolve, multiple data sources come. You need to ensure whatever system you are designing should be scalable and easy to maintain as well. Right? You don't want to see many production issues or data issues coming every day. So what we have done to enable this or resolve these problems, we have built a semantic layer on Synapse. We have just seen the need for the semantic layer to enable the KPIs and metrics for that. Report and dashboards on Power BI to enable self-service and drill down functionality which customer needs. So we have enabled all the reports and dashboards in Power BI for the customer to take care of that. Integrating heterogeneous data sources, we ensure that the right modeling approach is followed for the data models and data grids. Right? Many teams, many project teams don't give that much importance to data modeling. This is a key factor. This is very important to ensure your models are scalable, able to integrate heterogeneous data from different sources at any grain at definite frequencies, right? So you need to give the right importance to the data models you are building here. And we are talking about report performance and accuracy. So yes, we need to do report rationalization, aggregation of the semantic layer, data quality, governance framework. These all needs to be taken care to ensure you are giving the performance reports and the accurate report to the customer, right? Time to market quick insights. So here we have like a lot of Tiger accelerators and automations coupled with the right framework. So within Tiger we have a lot of frameworks available for every customer and their needs. It's plug and play. We can that, as the name suggests, it's an accelerator. It helps you to accelerate your development. It helps to accelerate time to market. That's what we have developed. And scalability and maintainability. Of course, we have built right auditing and logging framework and metadata-driven framework. Auditing and logging is definitely important for maintainability. Whenever data issues, if you don't have the auditing and logging features, you will, move around and will not able to figure out the problems. That's important. And for scalability perspective, metadata-driven frameworks, right? You don't want to write a huge amount of code for simple enhancement. It has to be metadata-driven so that once done, it can easily scalable for other enhanced features as well. So that's what we have done to build end-to-end cycle and the framework for the customer. And that's about the lead code journey which we have done. That's it from our side. Any questions, please?